Coming to you live at 5 together with twitch.tv/DeskGamesGang. Those guys are right over here. You know, hello. Feel free to say hello to mom. Hi, mom. Yeah. You know, we were minding our own business. We were playing with the new ShPTK TVP-100, the new Battle Bass vehicle. Released the video about the first ever Italian tank destroyer, premium tank destroyer actually, and out of nowhere, nobody warned us. Actually, nobody warned us that Wargaming is going to release a video about the entire Italian tank destroyer deck tree. And Stream literally demanded to watch it together, you know? I'm in your walls, nice. They literally demanded it to watch it together on the stream, so I thought, why not? Let's watch it together. I have never seen that, and most of the viewers have never seen that as well. So this is going to be a reaction first impression, and I'm going to ask tier by tier, vehicle by vehicle, what the chat thinks about that as well. And seems like it starts from tier 5 actually, so the new line comes starts from tier 5. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Destination is up for a video, of course. Chat is ready, I am ready, hopefully viewers are ready as well. Let's see what they have for us.
A branch of Italian medium tanks with new auto-reloading mechanics was added.
It was 2018.
In 2021, they were joined by heavy tanks.
Wow,
and now,
time flies.
Thanks to a lot of meticulous work, Italian tank destroyers will appear in the game. Only a few of the vehicles in this branch were ever physically built, and some of them only had incomplete design plans. But thanks to the surviving draft and archive materials, we managed to follow the line of engineering thought and materialize these vehicles in-game. Meet the Italian tank destroyers.
Okay, so some of them were kind of existing and, some of them were basically made up, okay? Let's use the correct terms over here. We're basically made up. Anyway, Italian tank destroyers. A lot of them actually, so a lot of new content in the future.
The Italian Army Command had ideas about creating self-propelled artillery guns as far back as the second half of the 1930s. However, initial experiments were unsuccessful, mainly because of the attempts to mount a 75mm gun on a light tank chassis. Sometime later, the German army started using the Stug 3. This vehicle was of keen interest to the Italians and inspired them to try creating their own self-propelled gun again. Together with the engineers from the Ansaldo engineering company, the Italian army managed to create a prototype, the SMV M41.
Okay, first tank, tier 5.
Its look and idea resembled its analog, the Stug 3. A non-rotating cabin was mounted instead of the turret and turret platform, and a 75mm howitzer was put there. The main series of this tank destroyer was produced on the Caro Amato M1441 medium tank chassis. Due to this, the vehicle in the game will have low maneuverability but excellent concealment and view range. The transition to the tank destroyer branch will be available from the Tier 4 P2640 medium tank. That's why the SMV M41 will help players smoothly adapt and adjust their playstyle for the following tank destroyers of the branch. Tier 6 is occupied by the SMV M43 Bassotto. The
SMV
M43 Bassotto.
Bassotto. SMV M43 Bassotto. Alright. So far, those tanks look like Tier 2 tanks, what usually we get for free.
Development and production of this vehicle started when the Italian command belatedly started to realize that enemy tanks had clearly improved their armor protection and armament characteristics. The solution should have been the SMV M43 tank destroyer. Gameplay-wise, it resembles the previous vehicle of the branch. The differences are in its armament. This TD is armed with a 102mm gun with high accuracy and penetration, which allows it to easily cause damage to heavy vehicles at a distance. Its armor compared to Tier 5 has also improved, but you shouldn't rely on it in close combat. In general, the first two vehicles of the branch are classic tank destroyers with a cabin. They are slow with good armament and average armor for their tiers. However, the subsequent vehicles can't be compared to regular ones. They're completely new tank destroyers with unique features that will unlock from tier to tier.
Okay. We like new features.
Tier 7 is represented by the SMV Contracarro Mod 1956. The vehicle was designed after World War II and doesn't resemble the previous TDs in the branch much. This is mainly because Italian tank building came out of hibernation and the revision of its concepts began in the 1950s.
Okay.
American designs with some additions formed the basis of the new TD project. First off, the vehicle received a rotating turret with a limited gun traverse arc of 60 degrees and excellent gun depression angles.
Like the premium
Secondly,
tank,
a drum-type autoloader was installed for a 105mm gun. And lastly, the vehicle received excellent frontal armor that allowed for close-range combat. The SMV Contracaro Mod 1956 clearly shows what the gameplay of the following vehicles in the branch will be.
Okay, so that was tier 7, guys. What we know right now is, starting from tier 7, it's going to have auto loader gun system with partially rotatable turret. Tier 7 was minus 30 degrees to the left and to the right. So basically, turretless tank destroyer, you know, gameplay-wise. You drag it, you kill it, basically. So far, no gun stats. I want to see how it compares to the premium tank, which has the most ridiculous intra-clip reload. 8 seconds. What?
The next TD is the Contracaro Mod 67.
Contracarro, controversial.
This vehicle began in the 1960s, when Italy cooperated closely with German and Swiss industries.
1960s.
However, tank destroyers were generally becoming a thing of the past at that time, losing to anti-tank missile armaments. So it was no coincidence that this TD remained in the preliminary design stage. In the game, this vehicle acquires a more modern look, while keeping the rotating turret feature. Now the gun traverse arc is not 60 degrees, but 90, 45 degrees to either side. The frontal armor is stronger compared to Tier 7, and this affects the vehicle's mobility accordingly.
The turret is so slow.
Into the T-95, but it'll be difficult to change positions in it quickly. The Contracaro Mod 67 is armed with an accurate 120mm gun, with a drum-type autoloader and 10 degrees of gun depression.
So, another autoloader, and is it just me or this looks like TS5? More like TS5, you know, Tier 8 American tank destroyer.
7 is armed with an accurate 120mm gun, with a drum-type autoloader and 10 degrees of gun depression.
So most likely 400 alpha damage.
The vehicle has an interesting exterior feature, a noticeable slope of the turret ring. In reality, such a solution will allow for a more rational vehicle layout. The crew could be in the cabin without increasing the height of the vehicle itself. In the game, such a design allows for blocking damage from behind cover while not decreasing gun depression on the sides, which happens in some tanks or turreted tank destroyers.
Yeah, guys, look at that. You know, because the gun is so in front of the vehicle, you are able to look down upon the enemies without revealing basically any lower plate action. You know, that's something to think about. That's actually quite crazy. You know, the gun is so frontal placed already, and then you have the massive gun mantle, which makes your gun even, you know, more in front. I don't know. So, Tier 8, what do you think about so far? That engine deck is HE Heaven. What do you think about those tanks so far? Tier 8, because now we're going to the juicy part. Usually the Tier 9 is the decider, because usually Tier 9 is the cherry, because of just the best matchmaking, you know, +1, -2 matchmaking. Looks decent, ugly. It looks like D2580. Yeah, like, definitely. Can see that. I like how it looks. Tier 7 to 10 looks so stupid. Ugly, yep. Premium autoloading TD. Premium autoloading is the different one. We made a video about that. Disney killed Star Wars. Okay. Interesting. Looks cool. Well, I would love to see the gun stats.
Happens in some tanks or turreted tank destroyers. At Tier 9, there's Contracaro 1 MK2.
Contracarro 1
The idea of this
MK2.
tank destroyer was inspired by joint American and German developments that corresponded with Italian views on tank destroyers. The concept of a tank destroyer with partial turret traverse, average mobility
Oh
and
my God,
excellent
that
frontal
factory.
armor was also implemented for this vehicle. What changed is its gun. The caliber increased to 127mm, but the auto-loader remained. Due to the sum of all its characteristics, the Contracarro 1 MK2 is an excellent candidate for the penultimate vehicle of the branch. The peak of Italian engineering, however, is the Contracarro 3 Minotaur. You can see the influence of both American and German tank building in this vehicle. This tank destroyer embodied all the ideas that were developed by the previous tank destroyers of this branch.
Dude, that's crazy.
A rotating turret with a limited gun traverse arc of 90 degrees and 10 degrees of gun depression. Excellent frontal armor that is well in balance with the vehicle's mobility. And the 130mm gun with an auto-loader.
130mm gun with an auto-loader, guys. 130mm gun and auto-loader.
But that's not your regular auto-loader. 5 shells, good damage per shot, 24 seconds to reload the entire drum, and 8 seconds between.
Oh! What?
But that's not your regular auto-loader. 5 shells, good damage per shot,
530 alpha times 5, 8-second reload time. So basically you get 8-second reload time for 530 alpha. What you cannot boost, guys. Keep that in mind. You cannot boost intra-clip reload with anything. This 8-second, if it stays, it is fixed. What you can boost is the full clip reload. So yeah, the entire Italian Dectory seems to feature the same things what the premium tank had. Crazy long intro clip reload with full magazine reload time and you know, average alpha damage. Okay, 530. We have to compare it definitely to some other tier 10s because 538 seconds.
4 seconds to reload the entire drum, and 8 seconds between the shots. You can hardly say this is something classic.
Definitely not.
And if all these characteristics might look strange on paper, the Italian can also surprise you in practice. You should play this vehicle as a regular tank with a cyclic gun. With its alpha damage and reload, one drum is enough to outshoot many opponents. Yes, you will pay for it with the reload of the entire drum, but first of all, it takes only 24 seconds, and secondly,
well, that is
the enemy
fast.
will never know when exactly you're reloading.
That is
Moment
true.
of battle, and in any situation, opponents can't just track how many shells you have. You can start reloading after 3 shots, so the countdown starts. The enemy counts 8 seconds before your next shot. Then they think that you're hesitating for a few seconds. A few more seconds to roll out. Mutual intimidation, and so on. And only then comes the moment your opponent realizes you are reloading. But what they didn't take into account is that there's little time left until the reload is complete. Such a concept of the auto-loader makes the Minotaur an absolutely unique vehicle. And most importantly, it makes it a vehicle that you should always be aware of. Because in theory, facing the Minotaur means always facing a vehicle that will win in a duel. And even if the opponent manages to figure it all out, count all seconds, and think of all the options in their head, they will also need to penetrate your TD. So this is what makes the new Italian an excellent vehicle for close-range combat. It's ready to dictate the terms of battle, it's ready to adapt to the enemy's style, and it's ready to win. In addition to researchable vehicles, the Italians will also have a Tier 8 premium tank destroyer. This will potentially be the SMV Contracaro Mod 1964 Vipera. Work on this combat vehicle, should have turned into the development.
We saw that. We saw this vehicle already. If you haven't seen this tank, well, go check out the previous video. 400 alpha damage, 8-second reload, 36 for the full magazine, and it has 5 shells in it. A lot of armor, very slow. That's all you need to know. I rhymed over here. But dude, this is honestly very interesting. I would like to test it out. The thing is, we are always, if this ends up with 8-second interclip reload, we always know and we can always count exactly what is the reload time on this tank. Because, as I said, you cannot boost it, right? What do you guys think about this? Is it strong? Is it weak? 8 seconds is kinda long. Let me actually quickly pull up the tanks.gg. So tanks.gg by stats, let's say damage, tier 10 tank destroyers. Just to compare it to some tier 10 tank destroyers. 530 it had, right? 530. We have 114 SP2 with 650 alpha, about 14 seconds, but you can get easily down to 12 seconds range. We have autoloaders, or we have 480, you know this one. You can get his reload faster than, you can get Badger's reload faster than on the tier 10 Italian tank destroyer, while having slightly less alpha damage. But this is never ending autoloader with the same type of playstyle. Like, can we compare it to the Badger actually? Yes, you lose 50 alpha damage, but you have basically the never ending autoloader compared to the other dude, compared to the tier 10. Minotaur or whatever it was, right? Anyway, what do you think about that, guys? What do you think about this? 530 is definitely a unique alpha damage number for a tier 10 tank destroyer, definitely. This 20-second reload can be lowered to 20 to 21 seconds. Okay, so let's say you have 21-second reload. But yes, you can bluff, you know, as they said in the video as well. You can kind of bluff your way out of that reload because they never know when you are going to reload because of your massive long reload time between shots anyway. So it is definitely is interesting, right? Definitely something new, something to think about. It's not like the WZ113 GFT. When this tank was introduced, nobody really cared about this because it's like it like copied what we already had. But that tank definitely is new. Problem is Badger is meh, yeah. It depends. It comes down to the mobility as well. If it has like decent mobility, if the tier 10 Italian has decent mobility with you know, that good of an armor, then definitely it's something to be afraid of, because the armor shape is crazy. Like, if you hide this lower plate, it depends how good the turret is. It looks to be extremely slopey. Extremely slopey. Let's take a look at the better picture. This is the full HD quality. Yeah, you can see even the commander hatch is sloped. I believe I would say those little tippity tops up here are not hitbox. You know, if you hit it, you deal no damage, but you know, viewport is damaged or whatever. Yeah, you can see how slopey it is. The turret looks a thick boy. I'm honestly not hating how it looks. I don't know. I'm honestly not hating how this tank looks, but the gun system, woo, definitely something different, as they said. Does this tank have 3407 DPM? Maybe, Dave. Maybe. Is this what you're saying right now? 4 times 8 seconds plus the 20 second? No, it's not full minute. It's actually a bit faster than that. Yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section, please let me know what you think about that. Are you excited about the Italian tanks? When are they coming? Seems like in the game did you not have HD models ready yet, or in the test footage at least they didn't have those things ready. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Are you excited about the Italian tanks? When are they coming? Seems like in the game did you not have HD models ready yet, or in the test footage at least they didn't have those things ready. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Are you excited about the Italian tanks? When are they coming? Seems like in the game did you not have HD models ready yet, or in the test footage at least they didn't have those things ready.
Characteristics might look
Definitely
strange
interesting.
on
I want
paper.
to see how it is, how it goes. You know, the Tier 9, they said, has 127 millimeter gun, right? 127. I think Tier 8 has 400 alpha damage. We have no numbers, but I'm calling it 400 alpha damage. Tier 9 has 480 alpha damage. Why not, right? And Tier 10 is going to have 530. Just my guess. So, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Stay awesome, chat, you know, final chance to say hi, mom. I get you next time with something else, which might be a completely different topic. Anyway, thank you for tuning in and have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. 32-second intra, 24 reload means 6 shots. Okay, hi, mom. Anyway, okay, goodbye. Have a nice day.